Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Dicey Dungeons. So we beat the main game. We didn't do everything in the main game, didn't get all the achievements, didn't beat the elimination rounds or the bonus rounds. But first things first, let's just do the new content, the Halloween special DLC to start with. And then we'll probably just see what we can cheat first. Now, in the Halloween content, there is just complete the Warriors Halloween episode, complete the Inventors Halloween episode, and complete the Witches Halloween episode that you don't even play as the thief, the robot, or the jester. The difficulty is pretty easy on the Warrior, 4 stars on the Inventor, 5 stars on the Witch. So let's just hop in here. And so it's new animation and I assume new dialogue to be Halloween themed. And one of my complaints certainly about the main game is that there is definitely some animation and dialogue that only shows up at the credits, at the final boss fight. It's just wasted content creation that could have either been not created so they have more resources to make the game itself better and more entertaining, or at the very least the dialogue could have been more generic and spoken as you were playing throughout the game instead of being unique lines of dialogue only at the boss battle. In this case, since it's a Halloween special, I can't complain too much that they would change Lady Luck to look like a Frankenstein, and they've added cobwebs in the background there. Oh, it's my little brave warrior. Welcome back to my eternal dungeons. Thank you. I love Halloween. Now the dungeons today are going to be a little bit different from what you're used to. That's okay, I've been working on my flexibility. What's funny is that at the credits they don't get turned back into humans. So they're just dice for the rest of their life. Hey, what's the prize we're playing for? What? For this extra fight. What do we get if we win? Oh, don't worry about that, my dear. You aren't going to. Now let's get started. Now the danger here, certainly, is that this could just be really, really hard for no reason. Just to try to convince more people to play the game more. Like, this really is one of those games that is designed in such a way that you would have to pull the trigger pretty early to get that 2 hours, no questions asked refund on Steam. Because you really would have only done 2 runs of the game at most by the time you'd played for 2 hours. Maybe 4 runs. And I don't remember if the warrior has a scar over his eye normally in the game, or if that's been changed, but it does look like we've got different art once again. And I just don't know what we're looking for here differently. Slime Ball is exactly the same, so it's just the art's different, the music's different, the background's different. He has a different... The warrior has this recovery ability, which recovers 6 health. So, reroll this, reroll this, reroll this. Got very unlucky. What it does seem like is happening here is we have more of an active animation going on with the leaves flying around the front of the screen. It's like the programmers of Dicey Dungeons really were new to the idea of animating and programming when they made the first part of the game, and now in the DLC they have gotten a lot better. Even the slime character here seems to be moving with more frames of animation compared to even the warrior, who's just swaying back and forth from behind. Yeah, and you can see that the warrior's dice is a little bit more missing chips in it. So there is different art there, obviously. What are the rules? In challenge mode, all the rule changes have been decided in advance. They can't be changed. New rules are revealed when you descend further. So there may be a new mode that comes out from this later. We started with just a sword. Now we have two things we can do with 2 dice. Burn and shock for 3 is not a mistake. So there we go. Can't do any better than that. And that I'm not sure we got a full health refill there, but maybe we did. Inherently, though, there's a real argument here that you will not want to play this that much. Even 3 extra runs is probably beyond most of the people who own Dicey Dungeons. Only 6% of the people defeated Lady Luck according to achievements on Steam. So I wouldn't be surprised if we are somewhere below 5% of all people having even beaten this one challenge mode. Now here we see a demon. That's a whole new character. You start each turn with Fury, but it only works 50% of the time. That's not really that big of a deal. Let's go this way towards an item. Okay. We go ahead and re-roll this, and then re-roll this, and then re-roll this. Do 6 damage, and do that. Had I gotten Fury with the 6 attack, I would have just won. Because these characters are just the same characters though, with the same attacks, it's not like you're relearning anything here. Like, it would probably have made a lot more sense to have yet another parallel universe type fight happen in this DLC. Instead, even if it was a parallel universe challenge that was more thought out. In a lot of ways, this just feels like they had 3 more episodes or unique episodes that they had thought of and wanted to throw it out there. Okay, so we do that. And that gave me 2 dice. And we'll do that. And we'll do that. And then we'll end the turn. Really, I guess the only thing I can be concerned about here is if picking up the pumpkins doesn't actually do what I'm thinking it does. Let's go ahead and we have to rely heavily on the recovery ability. Now, when your health increases, you do get full health refill. Do a certain number of damage each turn. I'm going to take Boomerang just because we've never gotten that achievement. Pumpkins here. Although, can I even get the achievement in this scenario? That's an interesting question. I'll just take Claw here. Pumpkins just replace apples. 12. Put a bunch to myself. Do that. Do that. And I guess what I want to do is have the recovery ready to go. and then use the boomerang to use the limit break twice. And technically, I think recovery is a limit break. So we'll take this, and we could buy Half Moon Charm if we wanted to, but I guess there's probably not a reason to. Now, enemies get 50% extra health. Remember, we still are playing in relax mode, so we are at 25% reduced health on the enemies, so now they are 25% above that, assuming they're not doing compound percentages. Which, yeah, that creates a weird situation, certainly, where there's just kind of high danger. Reroll that, reroll that, do that. Bump that, do that, and do that. We could do 12 more damage, but I don't see a reason to. Combine damage to do 6 to inflict 1 shot. Okay, if I used recovery now, it would recover back to 32. I would need 10 damage to myself to be able to use limit break a second time. That's just not likely to happen. Let's see if we can get to a 4. Play that, do that. Yeah, it seems just unlikely that you'll ever be able to do the limit break unless your opponent has thorns or something along that lines. Something that can do a lot of extra damage to you. Or you do a bonus run that happens to also synergize nicely around taking damage. Okay, reroll this. Reroll this. I'll just end the turn there. Okay. So if I did a limit break now, then I would need to do 10 damage, which I guess if I could get a 6 here. Okay. 6 damage to myself. Then bump this to a 4. And miss. Ah! I would have done it just then. 6s do 6 damage, split dice in 2. That would be a tough one to choose, but I could see maybe taking it. even and then doing that much of damage and splitting in two is definitely better. Sword being upgraded is better. Getting rid of the maximum 4. Let's see. Well, as dumb as it sounds, no, that's not better for what I'd be looking to do. Pitchfork is the right move. Definitely getting different sound effects here. So you do 6 here, and then 6 here, then here. Just play around with the idea. If I was to use this, I would do 8 damage to him. We can just wait till the next turn. Him freezing 4 dice isn't going to help. 4, 3, 4. Well, I hope you're happy. Why are you here anyway? Were you even invited to the party? So it looks like there's even new lines of dialogue that they've written. It really does just feel like bad management that if you were going to add more content to the game, adding more dialogue really seems the wrong way to go. Honestly, this kind of feels like they wanted to make more of a cartoon, like a Cartoon Network type cartoon around these characters than a video game. Hey, come in, have a good Halloween. I sold all the costumes, sorry, but we've got plenty of fighting stuff left. So, oh man, double boomerang. It makes sense. It really does. Like, when I think about something like Costume Quest, in comparison, that was a game that fell back onto a lot of grindy RPG elements too, and had a lot of flashy animations. But I would say there is a little bit more of a connected narrative in Costume Quest. It's a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end instead of multiple episodes that have not much of a beginning or a middle and a boss battle at the end, and that's it. Storyline wise, not much of an end. Dicey Dungeons, when you beat Lady Luck, doesn't even really have that much of an end to it. All status effects are doubled. Interesting. So we are going to fight a devil character, demon character. We should probably start... What's this? Excuse me for coughing so much. Okay. So let's re-roll the lowest things. So Spooky Fury. Do that. Do that. Do that. So that's like 6 fire and 6 lightning to start with. And then let's just do that. And just do that. And that's like 2 poison. And I think we'll leave it in this turn like this. This pitchfork does just damage, burn, and shock, and then chocolate cookie just repeats action. He didn't even do any damage to me, so if I was going to hurt myself here, would I want to do that, or should I just win? Yeah. I think you're probably best just to win. So you would think that there would have been something special around that fight. And there isn't anything special around that fight. Which is odd. Here we're fighting the Wisp. Dressed up like a baby. Okay. 6 damage here. Let's roll this low one out. And then just end the turn there. But the one status effect that you would like doubled here would be a freezing attack, not that. Okay. I'm gonna activate this. And then I'm gonna do this. And then we need 4 more HP to do that. So the move would be to re-roll this, re-roll this, re-roll that. Okay. Limit break, activate limit break twice. That should have gotten me the achievement if it was going to do anything. And there's just no way you're going to like yeah, there's no way I was going to do it a third time. So, on that thought, let's replace one of these with a bump. Because we've reached our goal, we didn't get the achievement. So you probably can't get any of the challenges outside of the main game, which just means you'd have to grind in the main game a lot more. And that doesn't make sense. Yeah, let's just end the turn and not hurt ourselves. What you're not doing here, though, is you're not getting, like, full health. Which that would be what you would want, is a one-turn kill, not full health. Hey, what did the pumpkin say to the dice? Good luck. Alright. Let's see what we can upgrade next. Well, as crazy it may seem, I suppose we probably just want to upgrade the claw. I mean, we really didn't have that much of a issue or an option otherwise. And I wouldn't trade. Is my best offer, it's probably not haunted. You can see she's in different outfits this time. And this is like our last floor, so we just move forward. Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel like there's that much of a challenge here. Why does that trigger that way? I'm not 100% sure why. Let's see. 5 damage and then 4 damage, and then we'll end the turn. I need to reread the rules, because it does seem like you have a high chance of stats effects being doubled once, but not 3 times. Alright, well, we'll just play blind here. We have no idea how much this is. All he can do is blind 2 dice, which blinds all the dice, but that's good enough. It's not worth it to take the food at that point. Let's move forward. Bump that. See, 50% chance to use the next equipment twice, lasts until something triggers it. Roll that, roll that, roll this. In the turn. And all you can do is lock a couple dice. So it's not even like we're doing the recovery. Ooh, but we may be screwed at this point, because all we can hope to do if he locks 2 dice is hope for poison damage. My recovery ability is not going to work around that concept either. So we gotta get lucky. And to that extent, it tells me I need to just do this. Like, I need to be able to do as much status effects as possible. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to use any dice. It was very possible he was going to just, like, stun lock me by locking all the dice over and over again. And right now would be the time to take some health back. Blight doubling the poison. Me. Just don't do enough poison for that to make sense. Not unless I'm gonna bring Boomerang and Blight in, which I don't think is particularly necessary. Warlock is dressed like Little Red Riding Hood. Reroll this. And then this. So I always should do that attack first, because that will do the extra status effects. Confusing is not really going to stop much. I mean, at a certain level. Wow, that flicked back and forth. I have no idea what attack that was. That had to have been boomerang, with the status effects being going back and forth. Ooh, which tells me I definitely should not have boomerang equipped. So let's just swap that out for blight, even though it's not the right move. Let's do that instead. And we have no more health. We probably aren't going to die here, but kind of important to be careful. Roll this. Roll this. And good enough. 6 damage here. 5 damage and a poison there. Yeah, and I think we just win. Okay. Win and full health. Extra dice. Let's see if we've got something here we want to buy. Well, we don't need... Let's buy Toxic Ooze. Let's see what we can upgrade as far as that. We could upgrade Blight. Oh, I can have Toxic Ooze do double the damage. Okay. Toxic Ooze does that much damage on 6 does 3, which that is definitely better than Sword to start with. This one only works on even. Blight going here. And I guess we're taking Bump to even get us further. Then upgrade Blight. Since all status effects are doubled, we have something here that can add 6 poison, add 2 poison, and then double. Which may double, which might get us to a real victory of 30 poison, which won't even matter because we're not going to get the achievement anyways. Now we're fighting against a new boss called Pumpkin Spice, who looks like a whole new character. Like, I wonder if this is supposed to be a Michael Jackson reference with the hee sound or not. Nowadays, even making a Michael Jackson reference is not likely to happen, and most kids wouldn't even recognize it. And Michael Jackson, perhaps as a scarecrow in the, what it was called. It's a Wizard of Oz parody of African Americans, The Wiz. He was in the original Wiz movie. Welcome to my lair. Now, have you ever turned a pumpkin into a charming decorative lantern? Because I'd just love to return the favor. Pumpkin Spice is immune to lock and freeze. Interesting, but not really a big of a problem. So, we want the smallest numbered things gone. Alright. You double this with Spooky Fury. 18 poison. Can we do 18 poison damage right now? 9, 13, 16, no. But we can do that for another 2 poison. This is going to be fairly annoying. We're just going to win next turn, so it makes a lot of sense just to double that. Put the 3 here. Do that. And end the turn. He's got all these status effect things. Let's actually look at what these do. One does inflicts vanish, does one damage. Jab does 2, gains 2 thorns. Echo does 3 weakens. Muddle does 4 and confuses. Mute does 5 and silences. And 6 does haunting of 3 dice, which I don't know what haunting of 3 dice would do. But what I do know is if I do this, they're at 37 at that point. If I do this, they're at 39. If I do this and this, they're at 117 poison. Which both will do 117 damage next turn and would get that other achievement, but we can't do it here. If I do anything else, I'll probably win before the poison damage kicks in, so we don't want to do that. So, here's the mummy. Welcome, kid. Welcome to the spin cycle. We never saw you actually win this. So the wheel's still rigged. Oof, bad luck. But look, you'll get it eventually. Look at me, thousands of years before Halloween was invented, when I barely even got to fight. And now I'm not just fighting, I'm spinning the wheel. Episode complete, Warrior Halloween Special. Challenge complete the Warrior Halloween Special. And that unlocks the demon, which tells me that the demon, the monkey, and the pumpkin spice are the 3 characters you get here. And those are the only 3 new characters in the game. His likes are his cheekbones, karaoke go-to. I like to wait till someone puts a song on, then sing All-Star on over the top of it. Always goes down well with the team. Reasons for entering the dungeons. I wanted to find some people determined who hadn't given up on all hope yet, so it's much more fun to crush them when they're not quite in... it's so much more fun to crush them when they're not quite in abject despair. That was a plot. Here we have yet another different outfit and more backgrounds. Welcome back to Dicey Dungeons Halloween Special. Yeah. In challenge mode, all the rule changes have been made in advance. So let's just do an experiment here real quick and see if the rules stay the same. It doesn't seem like there's a hard difficulty mode extra, so yeah, it seems to me like the rules may be the same and the challenges might be the same, so there's very likely no reason why you would play this 2 times. And they're making that, I think, a lot more blatant this time than even before. At a certain level, it's almost like they've given up on the idea of even pretending like this game has replayability in it. No, you start with the demon. It is the exact same rules each time. So if we go back to the main game now, and we look at the challenges, we would have accomplished this one for sure. Snack 30 or more total poison. And I think there very possibly may have been another one. Do more than 40 damage in a single attack. Also potentially believable. And then the only other options are to just jump back into this. And since we have a little bit of extra time, let's try this. So yeah, it mostly just comes off as a little bit of an imbalance more than anything as far as these elimination modes. Let's see. There's possibly a strategy I'm missing, but I don't think it's that big of a strategy. I think it really is kind of just more random whether you win or not. And it just kind of comes down to if you're lucky enough to get the right dice, you will succeed. And if you're unlucky, you won't succeed. And if you want to do any extra achievements, you just have to get extra lucky. And there's definitely a lot of room for making this up. Let's see. A lot of room for doing a lot of setup and then failing after the fact, or failing right on the boss fight. Start with that magic missile on an even. Another magic missile on an even, and electric shock. Let's reroll first. Yeah. And that. So he's going to dodge the next attack, so it makes a lot of sense to do this first. And then 5 and another 5. You continue to impress me with your hard work. My congratulations on your victory against me and against Lady Luck. It would be interesting if there actually was like new dialogue here around the characters talking to you since you've beaten Lady Luck. But if only 6% of players even defeat Lady Luck, then doesn't really make a lot of sense that you would make that extra content. What I really was hoping is that you would get an extra dice that you sometimes roll that counts as all numbers. That would be an ideal thing, just an infinity sign on the dice. Let's go ahead and do that. And then do that. And then do that. Yeah. Or, you know, they could have just given us a single piece of equipment that we always started with that just did a massive amount of damage. That too would have been acceptable. Prepared slot or upgraded slot. Prepared slots definitely make more sense. Just start with the Hall of Mirrors in the first spot. That might be a better strategy than changing the spell in the second spot, although it may not really matter one way or the other. Extra dice. Electric shock. Do that. Go ahead and do that. Magic shield doesn't make sense. And I think it's just a win here, so it was weak to electric shock. If I could get something that would double... Man, I'm just coughing like crazy. If I could get something that would double that freeze each turn. Might be something around that idea. But we may just get more use by splitting something in two or nudging. Alright, we'll just hold on to our money and move to the next floor. I guess if you earned a bunch of money each turn and held it all up, it would be nice if that unlocked something. Like, if you just had 10 or 11 gold at the end of a run. But I don't see any indication that that would be the case. Even if it was just a matter of the amount of gold you have increases the chances of the spinning of the wheel actually succeeding. In its current scenario, it to me feels like what they're going to do is have you win the spinning wheel like in the Reunion DLC at most, if they even go that far. Let's see, cauldron here. Spin. Another cauldron. Spin. Electric shock. So we did like 3 shocks, which is more than I even needed to do. Still in kind of a bad position, though. 4 damage there. Let's re-roll this. 6 damage would win and do 2 damage to me. But I am in bad shape. Repeat next action. Instead of like magic shield. Yeah. I don't even know which character you would want to play with here. Magic shield here. And we'll take this guy on and we'll hope that that's right. Of course I could cheat now, and we do know that that is a possibility. Is that I can just crash the application, and in crashing the application, start over again from the checkpoint. Is it worth it to cheat? Particularly on screen? No, not really. Okay. That much. Didn't do that much. Didn't do that much. So he does that, and he does that, and that brings me down to 10. Okay. Odd 3. Even 5. 5 would get you an electric shock. So I'm like 1 short. So if he can figure out how to do enough damage here, I'll lose. Alright, well, we gave it a try. Start a new game here. Next time we'll do the Inventor, then we'll do the Witch. The Inventor is a 4-star difficulty versus the Warrior, so it's almost like they gave you one easy one, and then they're giving you one that's fairly difficult, and then they're giving you one that's very difficult, but you know, they may have some kind of special ability that kind of doesn't make them as difficult as it may seem. And then that will be it for the Halloween DLC, and then we'll just have the Reunion DLC. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.